Hello, my friends. Welcome to The Movement with Dan Unitas. Today we were watching a video called Why Handsome and Attractive Men Are Lonely. No BS. And this is the channel I've been watching is The Top Tier Man. This guy, KD, as the host. And I found him to be an interesting guy with a lot to say about masculinity. And he's kind of like a life coach for men. So he's got a lot to say about, how to get guys to live their best life and define themselves and also get, be attractive with the ladies. So let's jump into it.
What's going on, fellas? So today I'm going to give you the truth about why attractive men are lonely. And the reason for this video is because I've been seeing a few perspectives about why attractive men are lonely. And I want to give you the cold, honest truth today. All right, guys? So pay attention. Now, the first reason is because there's a large contingent amount of men who are only focused on looks. And this is going to lead to the conversation about whether or not women care more about looks or personality. And it can go down a rabbit hole of which is higher in the hierarchy when it comes to looks, money, game, and status. All right, G, now let me explain this today. The most important thing about female attraction is how you make a woman feel. All right, G, now men understand this when they say that women are always in their emotions.
I want to hear what he has to say, but I totally agree with this. I think it's great. I think women really crave security. I always say this: financial security, emotional security, physical security, obviously, and but they also want to be part of I think a guy can really be framing like the adventure that you're both on, and set a vision for what a woman is going to be signing onto when she gets with a guy. And so, does she feel swept up? Does she feel romantic? Does she feel passion? Or does she feel kind of like, this guy's a bit boring, not much going on, like that type of thing? So I'll shut up, but I want to hear what he has to say.
Emotions, and women make decisions out of their emotions, and women don't think with logic and reason, but they don't apply this same rule when it comes to attraction. Fellas, rule still applies. Just like how women make all these life decisions based on their emotions, a large component of female attraction is how you make her feel. So no matter if it's looks, money, game, or status, it's how these things make a woman feel and how you use these things to provide certain experience. Because you will find a man with looks still not get women. A man with money still not get women. A man with status still not get women. The only thing that's really the equalizer, fellas, is game. That's why you need to learn social skills. This is something that Pookie and Ray Ray have, all right? I ain't gonna say they really have professional social skills, but they at least know how to game a woman up.
I'm not at all down with the lingo. I had to Google this. I feel like such an idiot. But Pookie and Ray Ray, I guess is a term talking about guys that are more like gangsters, thugs, people that have been in prison, and they're kind of going against the grain, but they attract a lot of women because they have charisma, or they are large confidence, or they come across as maybe a little bit mysterious or dangerous. And so I felt totally white bread looking that up.
And say some shit to make her feel good, all right, fellas? So this is the first reason why attractive men are lonely, because they only focus on looks and they ain't got no social skills, all right, guys? You gotta learn how to talk to women. There's a difference between an attractive man who's an introvert, who still know how to get out into the world and mingle with women, and he still know intersexual dynamics, and he know how to talk to women and make them feel good and all this shit and turn them on, versus an attractive man who's an incel and who's scared to talk to women, who has social anxiety. All right, G, so this video ain't copium. I want to help you out today, fellas. I want you to get better.
I totally agree with his sentiment. I think that men, we need to get over our fears and put ourselves out there to women. I think for a lot of men out there nowadays, it's like the approaching a woman cold in public is probably the most scariest thing that they can think of. And I can relate as well. I was decent on. I'm married now. I'm very happily married. But I used to be on dating websites. That was not the same thing as approaching somebody. But walking to somebody up cold, potentially facing rejection is it's kind of a big deal. I think men are not as resilient or as forthcoming or as courageous nowadays. I think we don't really pride ourselves or push for that sense of excellence or strength or bravado within men. We should be pushing for men to be empowered and masculine and to be confident in themselves, to go out there and actually talk to a woman, say, hey, I'm can I buy you a drink, and talk to you and figure out what you're about and see if you can kind of line up. And so I appreciate that this guy's talking about social skills. It's like, you're not going to meet somebody just sitting there in your basement playing video games, right? You got to put yourself out there, and then you got to get over whatever is holding you back and making you fearful of talking to a woman. The biggest thing, part of it is like, if you go to, talk about this all the time. If you go to a store and you are like, you're trying to buy like a TV set for $500, and you show up with $400 in your pocket, and you're going to go up to the counter and be like, do you want? Can I have this TV? And they're like, yeah, give us $500. And be like, well, I only have 400. And they're like, well, I guess you're not getting this TV. And so that's like, for me, I always like to use this as like a metaphor, an analogy for like your level of self-confidence, your level of self-worth and self-respect. When you approach a woman, are you approaching her with equal value? Because if you don't feel like you're her equal and you feel below her, then you're going to feel like you don't have the same amount of value. You're bringing $400 to buy, obviously we're not making a purchase, obviously, but there is a notion of value within the romantic marketplace. Am I as valuable as you? Because if I'm as valuable as you, then there's an equal exchange here. So then I'm going to be confident walking up to you, and I'm going to be. So I think men have a lot of issues nowadays with self-confidence. And just being able to, if you get rejected, you get rejected. Big deal. So it's not, the woman doesn't see it in you. I think men need to be more resilient and have that sense of be able to take some rejection and still not feel like don't feel like you're the completely let it crush you and collapse your soul or whatever. It's just like, okay, she's not into me. I'll go move on to the next one. Not that everybody's interchangeable. You get what I mean.
Results out there in the dating marketplace. All right, fellas. So how you make a woman feel is more important than how you look. Yes, your looks will determine how you make her feel, because your looks can turn her on. If you got body game, a nice good chin structure, and all this shit, fellas, it can turn a woman on. An easier way to get her to the bed, because even if you don't have personality or money and you got looks, you can probably still get her to the bed, G, if you just don't fuck up and say no dumb shit.
To me, my whole vibe and my whole aesthetic is not about just wooing women and getting them into bed. So that's where like I differ from this guy a bit. But at the same time, I think that this guy's trying to coach guys into having more success with women. For me, it's not all about getting her into bed. I think that it's about ultimately forming a relationship and valuing each other. Again, I always talk about men and women living in harmony and valuing each other. So the way he's talking now is not really like completely 100% on my vibe, but I still find him very entertaining, and I like that he's very pro, trying to help guys out, and I don't know, I guess not 100% on board with his last point there.
But at the same time, fellas, long term, this is why money is the equalizer. Because money can determine a lot how a woman feels. This is one thing that simps got right. They know how to use money as a tool. But don't be a simp, G. Be a complete man. Looks, money, game, which is pretty much social skills and social awareness, and status, a network and friends. All right, G.
I just love the idea of this guy's like nephews or whatever. He's like corners them at a birthday party, and he's just like, look, you got to be like this, and the kid's like,
Be a complete man. Next reason. All right, guys, and here's a nuance. Yes, when you start looks maxing and you get jacked and you become all attractive and tall, dark, and handsome, you will intimidate some women. But G, let me tell you this. This is not a flex. All right, fellas, I got a lot of men that come to me all day. Hey, bro, I'm hitting the gym, bro. I'm looking good. I'm intimidating women, bro. What's wrong with these women, bro? Women don't want to look me in the eyes, bro. They intimidated by me, G. I'm like, bro, are you...
I'm sure he's gonna have something interesting to say on this, but for me, I find that that's something that a lot of women that feel like kind of high powered say often. Is like, oh, I think women are. Women will say like, I think men are intimidated by a strong and independent woman, and they'll give this and this kind of facts about it. And I feel like when people start talking about that, it's just like there's something that they are missing in terms of what the other person is like desiring or wanting. And so they feel they've got it in their head that they aren't what other people are looking for, or other people. So they kind of make up this narrative, and there might be something to it. There might be something to it. But I do feel like it starts to become this like self-fulfilling prophecy where people say, like this guy's saying, oh, like I'm hitting the gym and I'm intimidating women, and that's why they're repelled from me. And again, like as I'm trying to draw a parallel, so this kind of notion of this like strong woman or very attractive woman, people will feel like, people, men are intimidated by me, they'll never approach me. And I just feel like once you get it in your head that that's what it is, I think you're preventing yourself, and you're self-limiting. And so I think at that point, it's important to maybe try to dig into that and gain some perspective as to why you are feeling that. And what you ultimately want to do is dismantle that argument so that maybe it is the case. Maybe some men are nervous about a beautiful woman because there's a lot of factors involved in that. But maybe it might be something else. And maybe it might be messages, body signals you're giving off, or just random vibes. Or with this, again, I'm not trying to paint a picture between, for just women in that way. I think men also, as this guy's talking about, we get these ideas in our heads of like what works and what doesn't, and then sometimes we get this ideas in our heads of like what is the impediment, when in fact it might be something else, but we're kind of stuck on one idea with it. And so I think that being stuck is not useful. Being stuck is not helpful. Ultimately, you want to find a suitable mate. So we got to move past our assumptions, and even if we feel like there's evidence based on to back it up, I still think we have to strive to kind of like get over that hump ideologically.
Bragging or you complaining? All right, fellas, that is not a flex. That's a truth and a reality. But women being intimidated by you, fellas, it defeats the purpose of you looks maxing. So let me say this. Yes, at times women can be intimidated or threatened by attractive men. Why? Because she may feel like you're way out of her league. She may feel like she has to do a bunch of shit just to impress you and keep up with you, fellas. Who knows? But fellas, it's not a flex. Yeah. And the biggest reason why a lot of men are intimidating women is not the looks. It's because you're unapproachable. All right, G? Has a lot to do with social skills and having awareness and understanding your micro expressions, your body language, how you come off to other people, whether you have open or closed body language. All this shit matters. But
that's exactly what I said.
Is the reason why you're intimidating women and you're very unapproachable. It's not just about
exactly
being
what
attractive aesthetic wise. It's about being attractive personality wise, having charisma.
Yes.
Being magnetic, being able to draw people to you instead of repelling them. All right, G? Because the irony of...
I think that's a big thing. Is like when you're talking about being approachable, it's like, are you... or intimidation, like, are you somebody that's approachable? Are you smiling at somebody? Are you making eye contact with somebody? Are you welcoming them in with laughter or just a general personality of turning towards them, giving them, your attention? These types of things, I think intimidation can be easily. For me, I think a lot of people are intimidated. I think for me, if you want to get over the barrier of intimidating somebody, it's very, very easy. All you have to do is be friendly, put on a smile, and show that you are willing to accept and respect this person. That goes so far with everybody. Honestly, there's like respecting people and accepting them. It's just just how it works. All right, we're gonna play again.
Bodies, the more attractive some men become, the more they repel people. And it's weird. It shouldn't be like that, all right, G? Number 3 reason why, and I talked about this on another video, and this is another reason why attractive men are lonely today and not getting women and not attracting women or keeping them instead, and this is more about keeping and retaining them, is a lot of men idealize women over sexualizing them. All right, fellas, idealization. Is that even a fucking word? So here's the simple truth. Women,
for me, I just want to comment on that. I agree with the notion of like men idealize women. They kind of have this idea in their head of this woman being this, and he's going to talk about putting women on a pedestal and stuff. And I agree with that notion of it, but he's talking about the sexualization stuff. So what he's going to go into is talking about like how women want to be felt like they are like on the same level as you. And so in that way, you are interested in them in a like a sexual attraction. There's the interplay between, there's flirtatiousness, there's a sexual subtext to the relationship of like, oh, I'm attracted to you, and I'm not thinking you're out of my league. I'm thinking like you're absolutely in my league, and we want to get down. And that's what he's talking about. For me, I just don't prefer the notion of the kind of talking about the sexualization of people, because that's so wrapped up. That's so like I feel like people will be getting the wrong idea or impression of like what that's meant to mean. I agree with him in the sentiment, but I think in terms of like saying idealization versus sexualizing them, if you're talking about sexualizing people, that's generally viewed as like being a derogatory thing, and like just objectifying them as to like a bag of meat, and that's not really. I don't think that's really what he's trying to get at. I think he's trying to talk more about attraction between people and having a healthy attraction. And keeping healthy attention in the relationship. But I generally would agree with it where he's going with it in terms of like, yeah, if you put somebody up here, then they're not going to be attracted to you because you're so good to me, you're so good, and thank you so much for being with me, and it's like I'm so happy to have such a great woman in my life. And it's like, yeah, like that's just like, for me, it's interesting because it's like I'm happily married. I've got a great woman in my life. I feel like she's extremely attractive, and I feel very lucky to be with her. At the same time, if I put her up on a pedestal and like I put myself down below, all of the tension in the relationship it just flies out of the room. It's just, you have to be, for a healthy relationship, you have to be on the same level, and you have to have that, she's attracted to me and I'm attracted to her. And like there's electricity and tension and chemistry there. And so if you're putting yourself, valuing somebody like way above you, it's just that it doesn't work. That tension's not there. So that's what he's kind of getting at.
Women would prefer, and they won't say this, why? Because it's not politically correct, but women would prefer to be sexualized over idealized. And what I'm basically saying is women do not want to be put on a pedestal. You will get way better results, and you will get way further with women if you stop treating them like they're Queen Elizabeth and they're this untouchable angel that you can't show that you're really attracted to. All right, fellas, you gotta start treating women like humans. Treat them like a human being that you're attracted to versus idolizing them like a queen. All right, G. So it's okay to compliment women. It's okay to show genuine interest. But when you do it in a way, when you're treating her like she...
Sometimes like my wife and I, when we talk about each other, we talk about like, I'm like she's my queen, which is what this guy's kind of referring to. But here's the deal. Like, I'm also the king. Like, if she's my queen, I'm her king. Like, that's how it goes. And if you're not, if she's your queen and you're not a king, you're some prince or some houseboy, that's not a good situation. It's just not. You're not going to have. You're not going to hold her attention in the long term. She's going to cheat on you and not have respect for you. So I agree with in the sense of what this guy's talking about. He's like women are attracted to men that value themselves and put themselves on the same level. Again, I just feel like some of the terminology that he's using, it does feel like it's a transactional thing, in terms of like the sexualization of type stuff. And I think for me, my whole thing is just like, we need to treat each other with love and respect and kindness at all times. Men should love and honor and cherish women and respect them, and women should honor and love and cherish men, reciprocally. It's a mutually beneficial exchange. So he's kind of like hitting on this stuff, but it just in a slightly different way.
He's better than you, G. That's when you lose attraction. So this is what happens. You get in the door with the looks, which you're supposed to, right? But you fuck up by idealizing her and idolizing her, looking at her better than what she look at herself, because that's what a lot of guys do, and that's the honest truth what's going through these women's head. And that's one of the most repulsive things in the world. You treat her better than she treat herself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to treat these women bad, but treat them like they regular, because most of them are. Maybe they may look good. They can be a 9 or a 10. All right, G, but lifestyle and personality, most of them are 5 or a 6, to be honest with you. So when you treat her like she's this goddess and she knows she not, attraction goes out the window, and sometimes...
I think for me, I disagree in a way, because I think if you can get a woman I always talk about having faith in your partner. So if you have faith in your partner, and let's say that, like, I don't know, like, let's say that this guy's using a rating system. I don't think that necessarily that's like super, people might take offense to that, whatever. It's, I do like that this guy's not politically correct, but I would say, I think if you're using this guy's theoretical rating system and you say that a woman is like a 5 or 6, but here's the deal. If you see a woman's potential, not potential, if you see a woman and you see the great things about her, the things that have attracted to you and you love about her, and you ignore some of the things that are less, she's imperfect, but you accept her for who she is. You accept her imperfections. You're not going to sit there and constantly poke on her and make fun of her. If she's got things like she's late or she's absent-minded or sometimes she's, messes some things up. Hey, that's part of who she is. And if a great relationship, you really accept these things about her and you're not resenting her for these things because that's who she is. But at the same time, if you can look at the things that she does great and you really focus on that, and you are showing faith in her, and that's the version of her that you see when you wake up in the morning and you see her, that's a great relationship. And same thing the other way around. If a woman is out there and she sees a man and says, look, this guy's, he's not the brightest tool, I screwed that up. Sharpest tool in the shed, but hey, look, he's a decent man, and like I really love that he loves family. I really like that he likes kids, and is strong and hardworking. She's having I guess you wouldn't start by saying he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. That's extremely offensive and disrespectful. But my point is just like, it's all about having faith in people. And so he's saying, well, don't idolize people. And for me, what I'm just trying to break it down to say, like, yeah, I think if you have somebody that's here, but you choose to, accept them for who they are and accept them for their faults, and you kind of have faith in them, you like kind of level them up. And I think you basically, I think a partner should be the wind at your partner's back, and filling their sail up. And I think that should, men should do that for women, and women should do that for men. Like that, I strongly believe in that. When my wife believes in me, I just feel like I can conquer the world. I feel like I can do a lot more, and that's love. And so, anyways, sorry, rambling.
Respect goes with it. All right, guys. Now, number 4. Trying too hard to prove yourself. All right, and this goes along with being too damn desperate to show this woman that you're the right pick for her and you're the best option. Very similar to idealizing her and idolizing her. Listen to me, G. I'm gonna tell you this. You will find out these chicks that you so obsessed on social media, bro. Once you meet them in public or in person, you will realize that you wasted a lot of time chasing and simping over this woman, bro. It was a waste. Why? Because most times in person, they don't even look as good as their social media stuff. But also, you realize their personality really never matches what they look like, bro. So the whole time you're trying to prove yourself when really you don't need to. All right, guys, I say this all the time. The more attractive you are, the less you gotta talk. All right, I'm not saying you don't have to have game. Social skills is a huge component.
I guess I got to be talking a lot then.
But fellas, once you get in the door, shut your damn mouth. Stop telling her about your career and everything about you and about your dog and about your mom, about where you from, your political and religious views on life on the first date, G. This is how you get ghosted and unaccounted for, G. All right? Stop talking so much and stop trying to prove yourself. You don't have to. This shows desperation, a lot of it, G. But the biggest thing I wanted to mention today, and I want to make this video quick, biggest thing.
I think what that means is, like, if you're trying to like really go overboard and like impress somebody with who you are, I think that shows external validation seeking, and you're basically kind of coming off as needy. You're trying to sell yourself. If you're walking in the parking lot and somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, buy my candy bars. I'm trying to raise money for my school's basketball team or whatever," it's kind of like, okay, I do want to help people, but at the same time, I don't like being cold approached, and I don't like being sold stuff. I don't like somebody just like inserting themselves into my life and trying to like sell me on something. And so when you're trying to like prove yourself and like, oh, I have this career and I have this whole, I think on some level, I think that it's important to establish, because somebody's interested, a woman particularly is going to be interested in if you got life together or not. But to the guy's point, it's like you're telling them your whole life story, and you want to try to impress them. It just comes across as needy, and like you're trying to like sell yourself. And if you're really a person that values yourself and has that self-worth, you're not going to need to push the sales as much. So he's kind of, I like what he's saying. He's saying like, if you're a really attractive person, just sit down and shut up, and then ask questions and show interest in them, and that's going to work. That's going to be a very successful strategy, I think, on a first date. And I tend to agree with them. Yeah, I think it's important to engage in interesting conversation, and try to like connect on your shared values. But to his point, yeah, like you don't want to talk yourself like out of a date. Also, when he's talking about women on social media, like for me, women and men, if somebody's posting on social media and they're like posting a bunch of pictures of themselves on Instagram and whatever. For me, it's like if they have like a message, if they have like a YouTube channel about something, or it's like their passion, their work, okay, I totally get that. But if a lot of it's just kind of like glamorizing the life that they lead, or just kind of showing cute pictures of them, or showing off their booty, or showing off like the guy's muscles or whatever, I do think on that one, it's like, well, why are you doing this? Like, you're doing this for consumption of an audience, like so an audience can consume these images. For me, I would not want to be with a woman that was putting out pictures of herself that are meant to be consumed by a largely male audience, that are going to be like guys that are lusting after this woman. Why would I want to be in a monogamous relationship with somebody that's just wide open to getting a bunch of DMs and all? I am not of the mindset that just like, if you had trust in the relationship, it would all work out. For me, it's just like, no, like you start with like solid foundations. Like if somebody's like doing something where they're like broadcasting themselves to a big audience, that's probably going to result in some trouble down the road for the relationship, because they're going to be getting a lot of attention from other people. My wife, doesn't get attention online from other people. The only attention that I would be getting online, would be through this channel. It's certainly not in a capacity for, for any sort of like romantic putting myself out there. It's more about like just surfacing ideas that I'm passionate about. So just to that point, I really, I'm part of I'm in my 40s, so I'm like kind of not, I don't really consider myself like a millennial or like down. And I just think social media, like putting yourself out there on all this stuff, it's just, I guess it depends, but again, I'm making the point, like if it's meant to be showcasing cute pictures of yourself, or show how handsome you or buff you are, I think that it's going to be, you're doing that to get attention and to be consumed, by an audience where they're consuming you for your looks. And I think that that's just, I would not want to be in a relationship with somebody that would be actively, looking for that attention.
Is the intimidation. Bro, you gotta stop bragging about women being intimidated by you. Yes, it is a truth, and it is a fact, and it is a byproduct of being an attractive man. But it's not a flex. All right, not with women. Yeah, with men sometimes it's probably a flex. Even with people, it's not a flex being unapproachable. All right, so you gotta learn social skills. I'm dropping a few social skills videos in the description, guys, for you guys to go check out. All right, fellas, appreciate you for tuning in today, and share this with a homeboy who this will help out. It's your boy KD. We out of here, baby.
Again, I really appreciate KD over at the Top Tier Men. I think that I love that he's constantly like thinking about this stuff. I love that he's thinking about masculinity. I love that he's thinking about helping out other men. I find him very entertaining. I'm not always gonna like agree 100% with everything that he's talking about, but I like that he's trying to give men strategies to be more successful in life, particularly in like the dating department or whatever. And I think that's great. I think men helping other men is like what we should be doing in our society. And this is a little bit tongue in cheek. I'm having a good time with it. I like this. I find it entertaining. But there's so much vitriol out there, and there's guys that are kind of be showcase women. They'll use derogatory language towards women. They'll showcase videos of this is all. They're extremely what do you like? They'll say a lot of negative things about women and what women want, and just not have a lot of productive things to say to get men to be a little bit more engaged with women. And so I appreciate him for that. Like, it's not like a super red pill thing of like, don't go with women are all terrible. Like, it's no messaging like that. It's generally just trying to like boost guys up to be like, hey, call attention to like this might be holding you back, this might be holding you back, this might be holding you back, so you might want to think about that stuff and like level up and improve. And I really do appreciate that message, and I do really appreciate men on YouTube that are not completely vitriolic towards women. I think we gotta, for women and men, we gotta ditch the vitriolic rhetoric, and we need to get people dancing again with each other, and living in harmony with each other. We gotta figure it out. So more conversations like that is appreciated. So anyways, yeah, thank you very much. This has been the movement with Dan Unitas, and I really enjoyed watching this with you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.